Alright everyone, Cody here. So in this picture you can see the gold that my girlfriend and I panned from the rivers in California. And here you can see it after I've melted it all down into a bead. It weighs about 1/3 of a gram, as I found in the previous videos, and in this video I'm going to be making something from it. Unfortunately, the video of me melting it down has somehow disappeared, but don't worry, I'll be making another video about melting gold soon.
And now you can probably see what I'm going to be using the gold for. You see, I just got done sculpting this wax ring here, and ultimately I'm going to replace the wax with silver. Hopefully silver that I mined from my own mines. Now I just got to put on all the little vent tubes and stuff, and it'll be ready to be buried in a casting medium. Okay, there it is. I think it's fairly decent. I'm going to go ahead and pour in a little bit of refractory cement, and hopefully I can avoid getting too many bubbles. Give this a little shake occasionally to make sure there's no bubbles in and around the ring. So I just took the paper off, and it looks like it's completely dry. Hard as a rock. In fact, I think I might have trouble getting the ring out when it's done. But I'm going to go ahead and cut a little bit of a funnel right here, pull out as much of the wax as I can, and then I guess it'll be ready for roasting, in which I'll burn out all the wax. Alright, so Kangen and I are up at one of my other mines. You can see we're up quite high up in the mountains right now. Here's the ladders. We've pulled them all out so somebody doesn't try to go down there again. But this mine goes down quite a ways. You can see we've got a thing going here. We brought some pipe up when we're going to be building a brace so we can get like some pulleys going to bring ore up out of here. But yeah, have a look down in there. This thing goes down about 75 feet. It's rather scary to go down there on a rope. Yeah, these ladders are slightly better because, you know, you can put your feet on them. But yeah, so here's some ore that my dad and my uncle brought out a few years ago. And, you know, if you look through this, you can see there's some pretty good chunks of ore here. Like this thing here. So I go ahead and break this for you. There you go. You can see it's pretty shiny underneath, yeah? There's some galena in here, and a little bit of silver even. So I think me and Kangen are going to stuff a backpack with some of this better ore. Then we're going to go down and see if we can extract a little bit of silver and make something out of it. Sound good? Alright, so we're back home. As you can see, Kangen's over there playing with the cows. I got this thing here that I'm going to use to roast the ore. Now, I know many of you guys are going to complain about the fumes coming off and the fact that I could capture them and make sulfuric acid out of them. I will do that eventually. But this is just a small little thing to get some silver out so we can make something real quick. So, yeah, look forward to another sulfuric acid video soon, but this one is just going to be getting the silver out of the ore. So let's go ahead and get started. So here's a little rock crusher me and my dad built last year. You see, you can throw rocks in it and it'll crush them up a little bit. It's a little jaw crusher design, see? This thing rocks back and forth and it crushes the rocks between it. About a half a 5-gallon bucket full. That's quite heavy, but it's all down to this size or smaller. I think that'll be just fine for roasting. Let's go ahead and light it. Okay. Yeah, hopefully this works out pretty good. Certainly hot enough to melt lead. Alright, it looks like it's about done. Just a little tiny fire left. Let's go ahead and turn the blower off. Just let it burn up the rest of those coals and cool down over the next several hours so that we can break it apart and extract the lead. You can already see some little bits of lead around some of those coals. I don't know if you can see in there, the little shiny beads of lead. And I think some white, possibly vaporized lead or even some zinc has burned off. I'll be interested in capturing all the gases and stuff that I burn off and see exactly what it is. In the meantime, I was definitely staying upwind of it. Right, here's what dripped through onto the plate below it. Looks like some splatters of lead to me. Very nice. So we just finished cleaning that thing out, and we got a big pile of slag here. And we've been picking pieces of lead out of it, you know, things that are obvious. We got a whole cup of lead right here. Now we're gonna take this stuff here. We may have to run it through the rock crusher one more time just to knock this stuff down to size. Then I'm gonna ball mill it. And after it's done ball milling, we'll pan out all of the pieces of lead. And then that should be pretty much all of the lead out of there. The lead, of course, contains the silver still. This looks like it's crushed fine enough, don't it? So I got here all of our lead. It's quite a bit, several pounds. Now I've got to melt it all down and purify it. Yeah. There's our lead. Look at all that. It's almost like mercury, don't it? Alright, so here's our lead that we got. Let's go ahead and bang it out of the mold. There it is. Nice little lead bar. Hopefully lots of silver. Now, it's time to extract the silver from it. Now to extract the silver from the lead, I've started by cutting it into little bars so it'll fit into this crucible here. As you can see. So I'm going to melt this lead down into a liquid again. I'm going to add a piece of zinc to it. Silver is much more attracted to zinc. It's much more soluble in zinc than it is lead. And then when it cools, I can pull the zinc off the top, and in theory I should have my silver. Here's the lead, and here's the zinc. Hopefully most of the silver is gone from the lead and into here. Well, we're about to find out. Okay, got the zinc all broken into little tiny pieces. Now let's go ahead and add a bit of acid to dissolve the zinc away. Several minutes later and the zinc is still dissolving, but you can see there's a lot of like black powder around it. And that, of course, is the silver. Okay, over a couple hours later, here's what I've ended up with. I think all the zinc is now dissolved, or at least most of it is. There's still some lead in there, and it looks like a bit of lead chloride floating around. It's not too big of a deal because I think I'll end up putting it in a cupel when I fire it down, and that'll absorb any excess lead. Alright, after drying, here's my silver. I'm going to put the mold inside the furnace and heat it up to burn out all the wax. Here's the silver. Let's go ahead and put it in here. I'm going to go ahead and put it in on top of the mold. That way they'll be at the same temperature and I can just pour one into the other. I've got to tip it over and just pour it straight down. There it is. It's in. Okay. There it is. So far so good. It's gonna need a lot of cleanup. And here it is. After a little bit of grinding and polishing, I think I can finally call this a ring. It's still a little rough, but I think it's quite pretty nonetheless, considering the fact that I made it myself. I think the gold makes for a very interesting stone. Hopefully it doesn't get too scratched up. I mean, it is the natural gold, so it's like 22 karat, so it'll be slightly harder than pure gold. Same goes for the silver. In fact, one thing I like about the silver is the fact that if you took it to someone and told them it contains raw silver from a mine, they could analyze it look at the ratios of the platinum group metals, such as gold and palladium, and they would be able to tell you that it indeed did come from the free coinage mining district, which I think is pretty cool. Anyway, I think Kangen will enjoy her little present, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.